are going crazy in the Sword and Shield era. Alt arts in the Sword and Shield era, booster boxes in the Sword and Shield era, most of them are going up in price across the board. Before they go up in price, I have 5 great cards which you can pick up right now for a decent price. Some of them are going up, some of them are going down, but I think these are great pickups to add into your collection. Jumping into Sword and Shield, let's check it out. All right, starting things off, we have the Arceus V alt art for Brilliant Stars. Now, Brilliant Stars booster packs and booster boxes are going up ever so slightly over time. Compared to some of the other Sword and Shield era sets, Brilliant Stars has kind of stayed the same for the longest time. It's kind of sat around that 140 to 160 for a booster box for a while. Over here in the UK, it's about 140. Has been for months. Hasn't really shot up just yet compared to some of the other Sword and Shield, but some of the cards are climbing, as we can see from the Arceus. Now, the alt art Charizard, the big main Charizard in the set, has actually been climbing as well. So that has been going up. So we've got to keep an eye on some of the cards in the set. This is like the 3rd most expensive card in the set. This is a beautiful card, by the way, and you know, we talked about alt arts in recent videos from the most expensive to the cheapest, and it was quite interesting to see that some of the cards, not all of the alt arts were going up, mainly the big top ones of the set were going up, and there were a ton which were super cheap. So the Arceus, is it going to be a big one? Is it going to be a big climber? Well, it's already climbing over the past 3 months. We can see here it's now $30. It did actually go from 21 to 30, so that's actually pretty decent of a jump. We go back over the past year though, we can see that the card actually is not quite where it was a year ago, but it is on the uptick. So this is one we got to keep an eye on. You know, like I say, more and more of these big top alt arts from the Sword and Shield era are starting to climb in value, so we have to keep an eye on them to see where they're going, especially in the next 6 to 12 months, because some of them have shot massively, especially like the big top ones of each of these Trainer Gallery sets, really. And then again, Fusion Strike and Chill Rain and Evolving Skies, of course, are kind of in leagues of their own with crazy high level expensive alt arts. But it'd be really interesting to see how well Arceus does. So now could be a really good time to pick it up, just because it is on the uptick and it could go even higher. Next, we got the Noivern. I've actually talked about the Noivern a while ago from Evolving Skies alt art. As we know, Evolving Skies booster boxes are getting ridiculously expensive, along with the big top chase alt arts in the set doing very, very well. It's not just the VMAX alt arts anymore, it's also the V alt arts like the Umbreon, which have been doing very, very well and, you know, reaching new crazy heights. Noivern hasn't really done much for a longest time. It's basically stayed where it was, and I think it's an awesome artwork, a beautiful card, and to be honest, it's worth picking up rather than trying to crack packs of Evolving Skies now. Like Evolving Skies packs, this is cheaper than like 3 booster packs. You might as well just pick it up, right? $27 over the past 3 months. It's kind of stayed really where it has been. Over the past year, though, it is on the uptick. I mean, it did drop to as low as 22, but it was like 33, 34. So it is climbing back up to where it once was. Now's a great time to get it, like I say. Evolving Skies is getting silly, silly expensive for sealed product. Beautiful card, tough to pull. You know, if you can get it for under $30, I think that's going to be a pretty decent deal. There are a ton of alt arts from Evolving Skies that are actually quite cheap as well. Stuff like the Golurk, the Duraludon, stuff like that. But I wouldn't go for them. Something like the Noivern though, just because I love the artwork, I think it's super cool. For me, this is a great pickup. Then we have the Caitlyn from Chilling Rain. So we're not looking at alt art this time, we're looking at a full art trainer. Now, one thing I will talk about the full art trainers is, in the Sun and Moon era, we saw a big boom of female trainer cards, okay? They just went super duper crazy, and it was just crazy, right? And they're starting to settle down a little bit, but they're still really, really expensive. Now, in Sword and Shield, there isn't really that many big full art trainer cards. Now, in Scarlet and Violet, we know we have the Iono, we have Miriam, things like that, which are, you know, doing pretty well, right? They're big full art trainer cards. They're holding a pretty hefty price tag. And like I say, in Sword and Shield, I mean, you could say you got the Skylar, I guess, from Shining Fate. Not really a big card. Caitlyn, though, is actually creeping up in price. We're looking at $25 for this card, or just under $25. Over the past 3 months, it has dropped. Over the past year, it is around $25, okay? Now, when I say creeping up, it's more of like one of the most expensive full art trainers. It's not has been creeping up, it's the most expensive. So we're looking at around, you know, has dropped about $10 over the past year. Chill and Rain's getting more expensive, as we know. This is actually one of the most expensive cards in the set, which is actually quite interesting, especially for non-alt art. But that's, you know, another thing. And who knows, down the line, there could be a Sword and Shield female full art trainer boom. There might be, there might not be. If you like the trainer cards and you like Chill and Rain like I do, then this is a great card to pick up for less than $25. Right, even more alt arts. We're going to Fusion Strike now. Talking about the Mew V. Not the VMAX alt art, because the VMAX alt art is actually going quite reasonably quite high. It's gained like nearly 50% in the past month, so it's actually been climbing quite a bit. But we're talking about the Mew V OR, and I actually quite like this. I love this card. It's one of my favorite ones from the set. As we know, Fusion Strike booster boxes are getting really expensive. Pull rates we know for Fusion Strike is terrible. So this card for $31, $32 is actually pretty decent. Now I actually recently picked up a Celebi OR, which I didn't have in my collection, and that's also cheap. But we've talked about the Celebi before, and I think the Celebi is still a very, very good one to get. But the Mew's on the uptick. As we can see over the past 3 months, this card's gone from 27 to 31. That's still a reasonable jump in the last 3 months. We go back over the past year, still not as high as it once was a year ago, but it is climbing back up there. Now's a great time to get it before it does climb up and back there. We've seen the Gengar really take off, the Gengar OR VMAX, nearly reaching $300. We've also seen the Espeon start going up, and like I say, the Mew OR VMAX as well. I don't think all of the ORs from Fusion Strike will go up, because there's super cheap ones, of course, Sanaconda as an example. But the Mew and the Celebi, people absolutely love these cards, so I think that could also help push these cards in the future. I'm not saying these are going to be like insanely high prices, but get them while they're cheap, because it's so difficult to pull them, and Fusion Strike is getting more pricey. Next up, we have the Irida Full Art Trainer from Astral Radiance. We did recently talk about the Caitlyn from Chin and Rain. Irida, big fan favorite. There was a lot of talk about this when it came from the Japanese set. Of course, it was really expensive. Beautiful trainer card, to be fair. Astral Radiance is getting more expensive as well. Following the trend of all the other Sword and Shield era sets, it is going up in price. Pull rates are not too bad in Astral Radiance, but this is still a big full art trainer. This is actually one of the most expensive cards in Astral Radiance. You got the Machamp, and you got the Palkia Dialga, and then I think it's like the Irida. So this is definitely up there with the rest of them. And over the past 3 months, it is actually ticking upwards, which is actually quite interesting. When you go back over the past year, still not as high as it once was. So again, it's another card that's trying to climb back up to where it was a year ago. And I think it will. I think if, again, if we're going to go down the route of big full art female trainers from the Sword and Shield era, this is definitely going to be one of them. From Astral Radiance, you can pick up for around $22. That's actually pretty decent, and it's one of the biggest cards in the set, with Astral Radiance going more and more expensive. Irida, always a good pickup. So there you have it, guys. Those are just some cards which I think are great pickups right now. Of course, there's a bunch others. We're just covering just a few in today's video. But there's some really nice ones. Irida, full art trainer. You've got to look out for these female full art trainers, I think. I think they could have the potential to do well in the future. And also, they're just nice cards, right? And alt arts, of course. Now, I did a video where, like I said, I covered the most expensive and I covered the cheapest. These are kind of like in the middle, and there's definitely some alt arts that I think have room to grow. And I think stuff like the Mew and the Noivern have a really good one. Celebi as well from Fusion Strike. And I kind of feel like the legendary birds from Chilling Reign, obviously the Moltres doing really well, but I think the Articuno and the Zapdos also have good potential for some growth down the line as well, as Chilling Reign's get more expensive, and they are fan favorite. But it's fun the video, guys, and you've enjoyed it. Make sure to smash that like button, make sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments on these cards or any other cards which you think are great pickups, not just from Sword and Shield era, but Sun and Moon, maybe even Scarlet and Violet. They are great pickups right now before they shoot off to crazy prices, because that's what we want. We want deals, we want bargains, and we want great cards. But speaking of alt arts, if you know what the cheapest alt arts are right now from the Sword and Shield era, maybe you want to pick some of them up, then make sure to click the video on screen right now. And if you watch more Pokemon content, guys, you know what to do. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Alright, guys, that's it from me in this video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.